Hello and welcome back. So guys, here you know that how to get the result in a perfect manner, but right now I'm just gonna change some more things. First of all, I just want to teach you some more deeps of the where clause because I'm just thinking, I just thought that maybe you just didn't understand that completely. And the second thing is there are some more things to learn that. Actually, first of all, I'm just removing this one, the previous one query, which actually we are not using anymore, so I'm removing that. And the second thing is actually here when we're just calling the where, we can directly call the same thing. You can see that this and then db. What is a db is coming from this one, the database. If I just go to the yeah, I'm in the new model, so actually I just loaded the database, so this is perfect. It is coming from the database basically. So by the way, the db means we just loaded the database and the short form of the database is db. And then here what we just want to run the where clause. So this is really necessary to call the where first, then we can call the get. So actually we are just calling the get in the SQL, that is totally perfect, and we are just calling the where without SQL, that is totally perfect. But here we just need to give the commands, for example, and there inside that we're just going to do the same thing as we did before. First put the thing which you just want to make the where clause. I'm just putting here the ID, and then which ID do you want? I just want the first ID. Okay, now go to the browser and refresh. So you can see that it's working perfectly. We're learning the CODEIGNITER is the first one. Actually, I'm just doing one more thing here in the view. Instead of the C, right now I'm not using the C anymore. Actually, why not I just copy this and paste this here and just put the ID here. ID, the serial number is okay, but the ID should be unique, because you know that every result is looking like first here. So now what more I'm just doing, I'm removing this one like that, and the post, and inside the post I'm just calling the ID. Now save and go to the browser and refresh. Now actually the ID is 1, that means it's working perfectly. Now if I just go to the new model back, and here I'm just changing the 1 into 2 and save and refresh. Okay, so actually we're just sending the result is in the get, and the get is in the SQL. So here is the SQL. Okay, so you know that we're just getting only you know that everything is clear in DB. Okay, so we're just mentioning that we just need the ID of 2, and then we're just mentioning that we just want that data from the post table. This is the way to do in the CODEIGNITER. So now what more we need to do, I'm just showing you again that what I did in the previous class. If I just cut that and just paste that here and save, and then just remove that 1 2, okay, in this way. Or actually we just don't need the DB, because here in the SQL we just saved the DB2. So go to the browser and refresh, and it's still working. Oh, it has got some problems. Yeah, the problem is here it shouldn't be the, you know that these, yeah, the colon. So by the way, the semicolon, by the way. Now it's perfectly working, the chaining method. But what more I just want to teach you, for example, if I just remove this 2, actually I just want to teach you how to get the data through the parameters. Actually just like we just work in the get variables, which we just create in the URL in a general PHP. I'm just teaching you the way. $ID. Okay, now I just put it the ID here. Now how to get the ID, we can do a lot of things. For example, if I just type here the ID is equals to 1 or whatever, but I'm just getting the ID from the, actually here I'm just mentioning the ID. So where I'm just calling this function, you know, the database. Here I just need the ID, where I'm just calling the database function. So I'm just calling the database function in the new controller. Here in the new controller you can see that here is the database function which is calling there. So now here I'm just mentioning the 1. Okay, I just suppose I just typed 1, or I just typed 2. Now go to the browser and refresh. It's still in a perfect position, in a perfect manner. However, we just didn't put any kind of a value. I just put the variable here, and actually you know that we are just calling this variable, we are just getting this ID from there through the parameter. And where we're just calling this parameter, we're just calling this parameter this function here in the new controller. and there is the database function which we just calling which we just created there and calling there. So now we're just calling 2. Now instead of the 2, if I just type id again, no matter, there is no connection between this id variable or this id variable, because exactly both has no value. This value will be the value of that, and that value will be the value of this. So by the way, whatever. Now what more I just need to do, I just go to the index here and I'm just typing id again. I'm not putting 2 or 3 or whatever. I can type 2 as well here. I just type 2 and refresh that one. Now I'm getting the error, actually unexpected 2. Yeah, actually here I just can't type the 2. I'm just typing id again. So this id is coming from there, from the index function, and actually we are just created the place to get the id on the new model. This is really simple, really simple game. Here first of all, in the new model we just need the value. Here we just put it the id variable because I just want the dynamic value. So where I'm just getting this id, I'm just getting the id from this database. Here is the id. So you know that how we can put the data here, where we just calling this function. We can call the function anywhere, but we are just calling the function in the new controller. This is a general PHP method, as you know. So in the new controller, here we just put it the value. Instead of 1 or 2, again we just put it the variable, the named id. We can put the anything like new id, new controller id, or whatever. Now what the value I'm just putting here, instead of creating the variable anywhere, I'm just passing another parameter as the id. So now the game is over. If I just go to the browser now, if I just refresh that, and then I'm getting the error, missing argument 1. Okay, there is no argument, as it's just give us the error. It's true because we are just getting the error. Actually you can see that the error comes 2 times because the result is not a single. So by the way, I'm just going back, and where to put the value there, we're just calling this function index on the URL. Okay, and we are just calling the index function in the way of the URL. So now let's just create the variable in the way of the URL. 2. What the mean of 2? The 2 is the value of this id now. So actually this is the way to get create the get variables in the CODEIGNITER. It's looking like a typical thing, but really easy and really simple. Again, I'm just clearing you that we're just not calling this database function in the URL. You know, we just can call the functions which is inside the new controller page, or actually controller page. This is a part of this is the rule of the MVC. So because we just can call the variables, the functions to the URL of this new controller. So exactly we just need to create the variable 2, and here to pass the data we just send the data through the URL. So now if I just put the 1 here, then press enter, now the id will be 1. Okay, that's looking really perfect. The id is 1. And we are learning CODEIGNITER, and CODEIGNITER is a layer framework for PHP, and it's a popular framework due to etc. And if I just type 2, press enter, and again it's working perfectly. So guys, I hope you understood how it's working, and it's really easy to understand. So now what we just need to do, we just need to teach you some more things about the where clause which is in the new model. And the second thing is, I'm just canceling this database.php because we just don't need to do anything with this page anymore. We just did all the things which we just want here, as you can see. So let's just close that. Now here in the new model we have to do a lot of things, but I'll just guide you in the next class. So stay tuned and goodbye.